enjoying yourselves. If you're just joining me, my name is Brian Curran, doing these lessons each and every Saturday. Hope to keep them going. Hope you guys are enjoying them. And as always, especially if you're just joining me, all these lessons are archived at my Facebook page, facebook.com/Brian Curran Music. So, thanks for joining me once again. And last week we talked about the intro to Crossroad Blues by Robert Johnson. Today we're moving forward with that, and we have basically the first verse, or the first one chord. This week I'm not going to talk too much about the basics of slide and things like that. So if you're just joining me and just getting into slide guitar and things like that, check out those archive videos. There's a whole series of lessons to get you started on slide. And if you're just joining in for Crossroad Blues and you haven't done the intro, that's there as well. So yeah, without further ado, we are in the key of G. Open G on the guitar, so we have D, G, D, G, B, D. Yeah, so now Robert Johnson was not in the key of G. It's in the recording, it's around B flat. So I think he was tuned to A, or possibly even tuned to the pitch of, or close to the pitch of the recording. We all know early recordings can be, a little touchy as far as perfect intonation goes because of the speed of the record. So, and then there's some talk that maybe Robert Johnson's songs were intentionally sped up. I don't really know anything about that. I don't have an opinion one way or the other. But anyhow, so if you want to get in pitch with Robert, if you think your guitar can handle it, especially if you're an acoustic, you want to be a little wary of this, but I would tune to A, open A, so it's open G, a whole step up every string, capo around 1, or capo on 1, and then fiddle around with the strings until you get it to match the recording. You can also stay in G, capo on 3, and get the strings to match the recording. It's just, if you, like myself, I have a 12 fret guitar, capoing on 3 it's pretty tough to do. It's doable, but not super comfortable. So I'm choosing to do the whole thing in open G, just so it's easier to see and reference on the guitar. So, all right, let's get into the tune. So we had the intro. Again, you can review that at in my video archive. So first verse up until the first chord change. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to break this down phrase by phrase all the way through. I'm going to try and go as slow as I can and do some, multiple examples of each phrase. So let's take a look at the very first phrase. We're up on the 12th fret, barring the first, second, up to the third string if you like. Now, I'm going to have another disclaimer here, like last time. I don't claim this to be exactly what Robert Johnson is playing. There is actually one section that I'm kind of questionable on. I hear it different every time. I'm like, well, it must be that. Well, maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. So I made a decision for this video. Throughout this, if you're an advanced player and you're watching this video, and you're familiar with this tune and you play it, please let me know. If there's a section you're sure that, hey, I really think it's this, post a little video in the comments. We're all here to learn, and I love learning new stuff too. So anyway, so without further ado, we can get into the tune here. So 12th fret, got my slide up there. I'm going to do 2 strokes with my index finger, brushing up on the slide on the 12th fret. Just 2. And I believe this phrase starts on the word cross. I went down to the crossroad. I'm not going to sing it. You don't want to hear me try to sing this song. So we're just going to go over the phrases. So yeah, just 2 strokes up there on the 12th fret. And we're going to end on the 3rd string, still on the 12th fret, 2 times. So it's there's your very first phrase. Now, I believe Robert is doing a lot of thumb work, maybe majority of thumb. I could be wrong, I don't know. I'm not necessarily comfortable doing that, so I'll be using a little bit of both, you know, downstrokes with my thumb, upstrokes with my fingers. So, but you can figure out what works good for you. So we have the very first phrase, or all thumb. Okay, so after you play that phrase, we're going to come up the neck. We're going to do some really heavy muting here. And I'm really lazy with my index finger. I'm not just muting the 6th string here, or not just fretting the 6th string. Kind of getting lazy with it, letting it kind of, you know, play the 6th string, but kind of touch everything else. Really heavy mute. Also going to palm mute here. I want almost to the point where there's no tonality to the string. But a real heavy down with the thumb, chunk. Then take the finger to the 1st fret, same thing. Then open. So, oh, too much string there. Here's that really heavy chunk, 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 you know. So now, if we put that together, we have this 3, 4. One more time. 3, 4. Okay. Next phrase is very much like the first, but we're going to do 3 strikes, 3 strokes up on the 12th fret. And again on 12. Okay, now after you play that 12th fret the first time, play it again and kind of trail the slide off down the neck. In the recording, sometimes I feel like he's starting on 12. Sometimes I feel like he's starting down the neck, you know, somewhere around here to trail it off. Sometimes I even hear it maybe off the 4th string. But just for the sake of the lesson, I'm just going to keep it on 12. It just kind of trails off to my ear. It's hard to tell because he's singing over that phrase. Again, so that's 3 strokes. Okay, so let's put both those together. I'll try and do it as slow as I can. 3, 4. Okay, one more time. 3, 4. Okay. The third phrase is pretty much identical to the one we just played. Only thing is when we do this slide back down the neck, we're not going to trail it off. We're going to connect it to another phrase. So let's take a look at that. Same thing though, 3 strokes up. Strike 12 again. But we're not going to trail off to nothing. We're going to wind up gearing back up, starting on the around the 2nd fret into the 3rd fret. So it's, that's the tail end of the phrase. So take the first part, see, okay, so if we'll put that all 3 of those together and get ready to play the next phrase, we get 3, 4. Trail off. And then it comes back up. Now, the phrase that follows that is a tricky little phrase. This is what it is. You want to be aggressive here. So we got, you know, it's hard for me to break some of these down, so that one sounded a little weird. It's not quite exactly the way it's phrased, but we'll put all that stuff together here in a minute. But let's look at that next phrase. So we coming down. Okay, so picture we did the. We did. Pretend we did that slide down. Okay, so coming after that, coming up the third string, we're going to strike a pretty aggressive upstroke here, and I believe the first string is the target note. After you do that, I want you to do what I call a ghost hammer. So I'm not playing this. I'm just going. And you got to hit pretty hard in order for it to be heard. If you're having trouble with that, don't worry about it. Just do the motion. That's going to help you with the rhythm of the song. So we have the upstroke, hammer, downstroke with the thumb, starting with the fifth string. Okay, so if we put that into the lick, I'm going to try that slow. 3, 4. One more time, a little slower. 3, 4. One more at that speed. 3, 4. Okay, is that starting? I hope that's starting to make sense. Again, that one's hard for me to just pull out and play by itself without hearing it in context to the other licks. So I hope that's getting the point across. But let's go ahead and stop there for now. We'll put everything together from the beginning. Ready? 3, 4. Heavy mute. So far. One more time all the way through. 3, 4. Okay. Now one thing you might notice that I'm doing that I don't think I want to make sure I mention, after that second phrase, where it trails off, I'm doing a little downbeat accent just to keep the rhythm going. It's faint in the recording, but I believe it's there. It's been a while since I've listened to it, so but if I remember right, there's a little thing there. But for me anyway, it just kind of helps to keep that rhythm going. So we left off on that downstroke. So the next phrase is this. Shoot. Okay, so basically the phrase there. So here we're playing basically a G7 chord with the slide. This is the fingering that I use most often, unless I'm not thinking about it. Who knows what fingers I might use. But again, Robert could be using his thumb throughout this whole thing. You know, it's hard to say. I finger it like this. So I'm playing that 7 shape, first and second string, 3rd fret. I do 2 strokes up with my finger, 1 stroke down with the thumb. So in the recording, if I remember, that 3rd strike has a little bit stronger ring to it, so that's why I think it's either he's playing all of it with the thumb and hitting that one harder, or finger, thumb. Okay, then we're going to take the slide back to around the 1st fret. Accuracy isn't super duper important here, because it's more of a, it's kind of I call it ins and outs, in out. So we're coming in, for lack of a better term, around the first fret, into the third fret. About when I get there, you want to trail that note off. And then you're starting around the third fret. There's your out, in, out. So I'll try and put that together real slow. Okay, one more time. 3, 4. I'm going finger, thumb. So there's a little bit of a logic, I guess, to this. You know, I don't know, but use what fingers work for you. But that's what I'm doing. Finger, finger, thumb, finger, thumb. The next lick, luckily, it's the same. Same kind of sympathetic or ghost hammer here. It's my coffee pot. Okay, so let's go up until that point from the beginning. Ready? 3, 4. Okay. Now, last couple phrases. You know what? Let's do that one more time, all the way through. I'll try and go even a little slower. 3, 4. Okay, the next phrase, excuse me, the last phrase. I try to get this with my thumb, because this is one phrase I believe he is doing with his thumb. I have trouble getting there sometimes. You know, I usually wind up doing what's natural unless I'm thinking about it. So if I'm thinking about it, I try and get this in with the thumb. You know, if I'm not thinking about it or I'm just kind of in the moment, you know, who knows what fingers I'll use. But I'll show it to you with the thumb. First time through, it's back up on that 12th fret. You want to just strike the first string. Just the first. Second time, you're going to strike twice on the first and second. So it's... You can see I'm ending there again on 12 of 3. You know, and sometimes I feel like that there's a little bit of 11th fret more. I don't know for sure, you know. I hear it both ways sometimes. So you can kind of decide. So you're coming from that phrase. Now here, we do that same trail down, in, out. It's important to let this one trail off when we come. So I'm going 12, down into 3, ending on 5 of the first string. But you don't do this like the intro was. You want to trail it off. I'm trailing with, you know, muting. I'm not pulling the slide way off. You know? I'm trailing those fingers behind it to kind of mute that out. Okay? So we got... One more time. I'll try and do it slow. 3, 4. Okay, after that 5th fret on the first string, strike down with the thumb. Good heavy one, you know, don't be shy. Let's try that whole phrase. 3, 4. Whoops, hard to slow down sometimes. Try again. 3, 4. Okay. Now, I want you to fret now the first string on the fifth fret, up strum with your finger. Okay, then we're going to drop to the 3rd fret of the 1st string. This is the one, this is the lick. I hear it like this. I hear it all kinds of different ways, but for the sake of the lesson, I've settled on this. So one strike with fretted on 5th fret, 2 strikes fretted on 3, thumb strike down, open, fretted. So I'll try that slow. So coming from thumb strike, open. So let's put that in context with the whole lick. 3, 4. I think it could be something else. If you know, hey, post a video, comment, man. I'd love to, get another perspective on any of these licks. If you have a different perspective on it, you're hearing something different, post a video, comment. Would love to see what you're doing. But let's go over just that lick one more time. So 3, 4. Okay, and that's the last lick we're going to talk about today, because then the next verse starts and it goes into basically the 4-chord change. And we'll get to that next week. We'll finish up the tune for the first pass. After that, it's really up to you what you do with it, So let's go ahead and review the whole thing that we have. I'm going to try and slow this down. My apologies if it doesn't quite link up super rhythmically here. It's kind of hard to slow some of this stuff down sometimes. So from the top, 3, 4. Yeah, so that's one time through, So hope you find that helpful and hope you enjoyed it. Take your time with it. Like we talked about, if you saw the intro video for the intro of this song, I talk about taking each phrase and getting that muscle memory, getting it under your belt, under your fingers before you move on. Now, it's okay to go and try to map out every phrase so you know what's coming next. That's okay. But concentrate your practicing on phrase by phrase. So you might spend a day just on this. Experiment with different fingers. Play the dickens out of that. Then you add in. So now you have. That's how you build the song. If you try and tackle, especially if you're just starting, if you're an advanced player, okay. You might be able to spend a little bit less time on each lick, but if you're digesting the song for the very first time, that's really the way to do it, because it will happen, and it will happen fast if you work that repetitive idea out over and over. So anyhow, that concludes this Saturday's session. Crossroad Blues, Robert Johnson. My name's Brian Curran. Been a pleasure. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. As always, once again, archive facebook.com/Brian Curran Music. I'm also available for online lessons, private lessons on Zoom or Skype. And also, I do video conference or video exchange lessons as well, where you send me a video or you tell me what you want to learn. I send you a video on the subject. You record your practice, send it back to me, and we correspond that way. So, but yeah, enjoy these. Please do comment with any suggestions. Also, if you can, if you would like to, I would love to see your progress. Send me a video, throw it in the comment. I would love to see your progress on this material. All my contact information is there on my Facebook page, email, private message, all that stuff. So anyhow, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, everybody, and let's get picking. Talk to you later. Thanks.